Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So we have another Beauty Bay palette that we're going to be playing with today. If you guys have not seen my last video, it is of the Beauty Bay Midnight palette run. Don't walk to that video. I do swatches as well as an eye look with everything, and this is what the palette looks like. So head over to that video if you guys want to check that out. But today we have a completely different palette to play with, and that is the Earthy palette. So if you guys want to see my thoughts and how I created this look on this palette, then definitely keep on watching. Alright, so let's get into the gist of this palette. So this palette retails for $25. We love to see it. We love to see it, okay? So if this is your first time finding out about this palette, Beauty Bay decided to come out with three different color stories of additions from their best-selling limited edition palette. So this one is based on this palette right here, which is the Wilderness palette. So if you were not able to get your hands on this limited edition palette, they have this one for you. And these palettes are a part of their permanent line, so you don't have to honestly rush out to buy it. I mean, I do feel like it's probably gonna sell out and you just have to wait for it to come back in stock, but it is now a part of their permanent line. Let's go ahead and dive into this palette. So let's open it up and compare the two palettes. I honestly think this Wilderness palette is more identical to, well, actually there's no blues in this palette. So this is what the Wilderness palette looks like. If you have not seen it, this is the Wilderness palette right here. And then this right here is the new Earthy palette. They are very, very close. The only difference is that this one does not have blues in it. If you want blues, I definitely recommend getting the Midnight palette, but these are literally like spitting images of each other minus the row of blues. But you get so many beautiful shades in here. This is honestly really, really stunning. I'm very obsessed. So you get 4 rows of green shadows, and then your bottom 2 rows are more neutral leaning shades, which I love this. I feel like even though this is a green palette and green is a nice bright color, if you don't usually wear colors, I feel like this is still a really good neutral leaning palette, especially if you just want to dabble into colors. I just think this is a really great palette to have. I'm wearing the new Morphe Lucky Charms gloss on my lips, and every time I lick my lips, I can taste the marshmallow flavor, so it's really great. I love this gloss. But let's do some live swatches of the palette before we dive into this eye look here. These shades are extremely creamy. I love the Beauty Bay formula. Super consistent, I can say that. I did this look today. The formula, everything is consistent across these palettes and I love it. So we're just gonna do some swatches here of these shimmers. Like, can we just talk about this shimmer formula? It's amazing. Like, look at that. So beautiful. Wait till you guys see the mattes, because the mattes are super pigmented, extremely pigmented. Like, they're on another level. Let's get this in here. Wow, these are really, really great. Look at those. Those look so good. Oh my gosh, I love Beauty Bay so much. These are so great. Let's swatch a couple more and then we're gonna get into this eye look. This shade is Calling My Name. I did not use this today. I really wanted to do a look with, of course, like the brown shades, because I didn't do that look, a look with these shades down here, but I really want to play with this top row. Like, I want to do a look just with this top row. It's so pretty. Let's swatch this pastel shade and let's swatch this one here, because we're in the season of pastels right now. So let's swatch that. Let's swatch the shade Wit. Wow. So this is one of those pastel shades, very vibrant, which I love. Another vibrant pastel. Ooh, that is gorgeous. Let's put this one here. Wow, these are so pretty. So now that you guys have seen some live swatches of the palette, you guys can already tell from those, this palette is no joke. So let's go ahead and get into how I got this eye look. If you guys are curious about what else I'm wearing on my entire face, all of that will be linked down below in the description. I've gotten so much better with that, so let's get started. This is the look we're going to be creating today. I wanted to do a look off camera, but just kind of doing it a little bit different from yesterday's video. Really love it. It's great. A nice smoked out moment, liner, cut crease. I think it's really cute, so let's get into it. The shade Seaweed, which is this green shade right here. Taking the shade Seaweed, let's see if I can go a little bit closer. Okay, so taking the shade Seaweed, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically start to draw where I want my cut crease to go. So I'm literally just, it's not gonna be perfect. I'm just kind of like sketching out the wing and how I want the shape to be. So it's really, really simple, really easy. I feel like if you are trying to figure out the best way to do like a winged out look like this, definitely recommend starting with a pencil brush and then sketching it out like this. The next shade I'm gonna go into is this shade right here called Shamrock. I'm gonna use this shade to blend out that green line. Taking a smaller fluffy brush, I'm basically just gonna be going up in size with the blending brushes. So I'm just blowing this out, making sure it's blended. Okay, so I took a small little break, but I literally just added this to this look and I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it. So we're gonna continue. Now that that is all blended out, I am going to go into an even lighter shade called Whistle. It's a really pretty, almost like dirty green, and we're gonna blend it out even further. So I'm just taking this to kind of add a little bit more dimension. It almost looks kind of yellowy green, but I just want this shade to show even more with this look. Like you can see each green, and that's kind of what I want to happen. I want each green to be there. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but I'm telling you, you could see each distinct color green, and I love it. It looks so good. Now that I have that shade down, I'm just gonna go back over every shade that I went in with to intensify it even more. So that's what we're gonna do. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my crease. This part is a little bit tricky because I do start off kind of semi-cutting my crease, and then I'm gonna take some micellar water to kind of clean it up. So I'm just gonna speed this part up a little bit. Once I get this semi-even as possible, like cut creases are never really even unless like you're really, really picky and precise, but I think this is pretty even. I am gonna go ahead and take some micellar water on a Q-tip, and I'm gonna just clean up the cut crease, and then we're just gonna go in and clean it up even further. Now that this is all cleaned up, I'm gonna go in with some P. Louise base. Now I'm gonna take a e.l.f. little strip. I don't know if they still sell these anymore. I'm hoping that e.l.f. still has these on their site. That's pretty good, I think. Okay, so now that we have that down, we're gonna go in with some shimmer shades, which is my favorite part. I love shimmers. So the first shimmer we're gonna go in with is Cava. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it is C-A-V-A. It's a really pretty champagne-y kind of shade. So we're gonna start off with this one first. Next, I'm gonna take the shade Lime. And then I'm gonna go into the shade Moss. I remember this shade from the Wilderness palette. This is a really, really gorgeous, gorgeous deep green shimmer. Obsessed. I'm gonna place this one right here. Drag this shade all the way over. Next, I'm gonna take a brush like this one and I'm gonna go into the shade Seaweed again because we're gonna do a nice smoked out shadow liner with that shade. So that's basically where this tape comes in handy at, because you're basically just going to follow the tape and give yourself a nice shadowy liner. Does not have to be perfect. I'm just gonna leave that there for a second. We are gonna go into the cake liner. You really don't have to do this. I wanted to do it because I felt like this look just needed a little bit more oomph, but you definitely can just leave it as is. I started to leave it as is, but I wanted it to be a little bit more dramatic. So I'm just gonna go in with the ABH Norvina Electric Cake Liner. The shade I'm gonna take is Electric Lime. Taking a really, really skinny liner brush. This is from Suva Beauty. This is the 620 brush. Now that I have that done up there, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. And now I'm just going to draw a faint line under it with the cake liner. This look is almost done. So now what I'm gonna do is take this ColourPop shadow stick. This is the shade I Love Vista, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of this in the inner corner. Just a little bit. We're gonna go over this with another shadow from the palette. That is the shade Ray. Just going to pop this right on top. I'll just add a little more. Okay. This is basically the look. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup. Then we will be back for my final thoughts on this palette. All right, you guys, so here is the finished look. I feel like everything literally came together and it's looking really good. I'm honestly really impressed. I wasn't expecting my look to come out this good today. I am wearing the new Morphe Lucky Charms lip gloss, and can I just say, it does have like a greenish kind of tint to it. It's so good. That's what's on my lips. It kind of just like looks like a clear gloss on camera, but it does have like a greenish kind of tint to it. So I felt like this was super fitting for today's video. But my final thoughts on this palette is, you guys probably already know, I just think all of Beauty Bay's palettes are 1000% worth it. They are so worth the money. I love them, especially if you love greens. This is like a green lover's dream. Literally, I used so many shades in this palette today. I love the look that I created. It's different for me. I haven't done a look like this before, and I love it. I love that you also have your neutral, 2 rows of neutrals down at the bottom. This palette is just so great, and if you have the Wilderness palette, I feel like this is a great palette to pick up anyways, because it's such a good extension of that palette. So I don't feel like I'm getting a ton of repeats. I feel like I'm just getting more added to my green Beauty Bay collection, and I love it. I highly recommend it. You guys know I think the 42 pan palettes are worth it just because of how many shades you get and how great of a price point $25 is for 42 shadows. That is exceptional. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys love this look. If you guys do decide to recreate it, let your girl know. You guys know I love seeing your recreations. And yeah, so I'm gonna end this video right here, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.